See if it's working. All right.
It's working.
Yeah, it seems to be working. All right, what's up, everybody? If anybody's watching, hope you're doing awesome. I just got a minute here. Was going to see if I can answer any questions for you about trauma, anxiety, panic attacks, depersonalization, realization, all that fun stuff. What's up? I don't even know how you would say your name. Skixties? Something like that. What's up, Kayla? Good to see you. Hope you're doing awesome. What's up, Katie Parker? Good to see you. What's up, NA? Oh, I'm glad you're doing good. Good deal. What's up, Johannes? Johannes? Something like that. Hope you're doing awesome. Haven't done a YouTube live in a long time. I only have just a minute here. So if you guys wanted to drop me any questions real quick, I'd be happy to answer them for you. I don't have much time, but I thought I'd just come to say you guys are amazing, and I hope you enjoyed the training that I put out a couple weeks ago. And I've got a video that's actually going to be posted next week. I've been working on this video for a couple months. I think it's like 15 most severe depersonalization realization symptoms or whatever. Anyway, my editor's editing it, and I'm really excited to post it. Katie asks, how are things been going with you? They've been doing amazing. I have a 5-month old baby who is my entire world, and just enjoying getting to, um, you know, watch her grow up. And yeah, just been working a lot. I have about 20 people in my Rise Unlimited coaching program, and it's going very, very well. Just had a guy today who did a coaching session. He's been symptom free of panic, DPDR, anxiety for over a month now. Anyway, things are going really well, and yeah, no complaints. Loving life. All right. Um, Okay, yeah, and also so you guys know, I am going to be opening up access to my inner circle group coaching. For those of you who just can't afford the Rise Unlimited program, I am going to be offering group coaching a couple times a month, as well as access to my courses and things like that for a subscription fee. I'll be launching that in the next week or so. And so you guys can be waiting for that, and I'm very excited about that. So Kayla, there's an answer to that. You said my videos help so much. Well, I'm happy to hear that. Thank you so much. So tips on releasing your pelvic floor muscles while seated. Well, there's really no politically correct way to say it. You need to create some space in between your butt cheeks. Basically, whenever you're sitting down, if your butt cheeks are squished together, it just makes it very difficult to relax your pelvic floor muscles. So just kind of scooch a little bit on one side, kind of spread them, and then sit on the other cheek, and that will allow you to um, relax them. So, and then if you're standing and you're wanting to relax your pelvic floor muscles, you need to make sure your belly is relaxed, because if your belly is tense, then that makes it really difficult to relax your pelvic floor muscles. NA, does DPDR necessarily lead to other things like schizophrenia? I have not seen that one single time, and I've worked with thousands of depersonalization realization sufferers. Not one time. So now, people with schizophrenia oftentimes do experience depersonalization realization, but so do people with epilepsy and all kinds of other things. So, but I've never seen somebody, at least that I've worked with, that was experiencing depersonalization realization that led to schizophrenia. No, not a single time. But it's one of the most common fears for sure, as well as the fear of psychosis. That's another extremely common fear, which I've yet to see that as well. So. Charles, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. I'm doing very well, thank you. Let's see here. Let me zoom in so I can see the comments a little bit. Okay, here we go. Awesome. Now I can see a little bit better. Um, How do I feel about inner child work? I've been working with a trauma therapist, and that seems to be helping me. I mean, I haven't seen people have success with it for the most part. I think, if it was done in concurrence with a somatic based approach where you're building interoception, which is the experience of the embodied self, and you're befriending the body and releasing the buildup of tension, energy, and emotion from the body, well, then that's fine. But I don't think that it should be a replacement for doing the necessary body work that you need to do. Anytime I hear inner child, it's just not my thing. I'm not saying that people can't see success from that, but if you're trying to heal from trauma, which if you're struggling with depersonalization, realization, you were in a state of trauma. It's a state of nervous system overwhelm. Trauma is a body that is constantly preparing for a threat that never comes. And so healing from trauma thus is really body focused when it comes to the methodology. But a big part of what heals trauma is mentorship and working with somebody that makes you feel safe and a sense of hope. So I hope that your therapist provides hope and also therapeutic relationship, because that's the majority of what helps people see significant results right there. But anyway, I just would say don't neglect the body stuff. And then anything you want to tag on top of the body-based stuff, like inner child work or CBT or whatever, is fine. I mean, I don't think it would hurt. So, Johannes, the emotions are connected to a threat response, right? Whenever you're getting around these people, there's some sort of sensory data that is similar to painful things from your past, and it's triggering your body to go into fight, flight, freeze response. And so the key is you need to stay in that environment. You need to stay present, like physically present, and then you need to be continually relaxing the body, and that will help desensitize what you're going through. Repeated exposure plus relaxation equals desensitization. And then if you do feel a huge buildup of anger, that's where you probably do want to go ahead and step away for just, a few minutes, scream into a pillow 2 or 3 times, also doing 30, 40 fast jumping jacks, and just get the adrenaline out of your body would be very advantageous. So that would be my advice. In order to be present, you have to be safely embodied. And you can't be safely embodied if there's a huge buildup of tension and energy in the body. And so that's why, like, the whole grounding technique stuff, like I just don't teach that. Like, pick a sense, like something you see and hear and smell and taste and touch and feel, and try to ground to that. It's like, if your body's full of tension and energy, it's not going to work. To be present, you have to be safely embodied, and you have to get rid of the buildup of tension and energy in the body before you can be safely embodied and thus be present. Good question, Katie. I mean, we always assume that exercise is always positive. I've never, ever, ever seen a single video that said that you can work out too much. But if trauma is a body that is constantly preparing for a threat that never comes, then that means that you have to be very careful to not over fatigue your body. And sometimes working out is the worst thing that you could do whenever your body is already extremely fatigued and exhausted. So I would say there's a difference between muscle training and exercise. I do teach people to exercise at least once a day, maybe 10, 15 minutes, take a walk, things like that, swimming, biking, 15 minutes. But I definitely tell them to not work out, like as far as lifting weights while they're trying to heal from trauma. I tried it. Early on in my career, I tried having people just, lift weights and stuff like that, and it's detrimental for your recovery, because your body is already in a place of chaos, and we need to start increasing relaxation. When you increase relaxation, you decrease stress. When you're working out, you're literally tearing your muscles. Like, that's opposite of what we want to do. And so, like, I've worked with a lot of bodybuilders who have came to me who needed help healing from trauma, anxiety, depersonalization, realization, stuff like that, and they don't like it. They don't like it whenever I tell them, like, hey, actually, your bodybuilding is part of the reason that you're in this session right now. You can't work out 6 days a week for 3 hours a day and not pay the price for that. Even if you're eating right and all that stuff and getting proper rest, you're just constantly destroying your body. So anyway, yeah, don't try to be a bodybuilder when you're trying to heal from trauma. This isn't the time for that. That's what I would say. But exercise, just getting, especially mobilization, is really important. You need to be out living your life. And I think, light jogging or walking is really, really great because trauma is the freeze response. The freeze response is also called the immobilization response. And so when you're immobilized and frozen and you're laying in your bed all day, that's conveying to your nervous system that there's a lion walking around that's about to eat you. Right? Remember, the freeze response is a mammalian defense mechanism that is designed to communicate to a predator that you're dead, so it loses interest and walks away. The other day, my daughters were playing with this lizard outside, and it went into the freeze response, and it looked like it was dead. And my daughters lost interest and ended up walking away because it's not fun anymore. And that's the same thing whenever it comes to the freeze response in general. Is it's designed to make you frozen. Now, 99% of the time, hey, Steve, good to see you, buddy. 99% of the time, people aren't in any physical danger. Sometimes I get some people that are being physically abused or things like that. But most people, they're not in any danger. But the reason that they're in a trauma response is because there's been repeated stress and fatigue and exhaustion that's built up for a very long time. And this is complex trauma. It's not one big bad event. It's a series of stress and adversity that builds up over oftentimes a long period of time. It's like filling up water in a cup. And yeah, there's that thing that's usually the tipping point, right? Sometimes it's a bad marijuana experience. I have a client I'm working with right now in my Rise Unlimited program. What triggered his symptoms was he came back into contact with his dad, and he and his dad had a very painful history. And all of a sudden, extreme depersonalization, realization, panic, all kinds of symptoms. So it's different for everybody. But nonetheless, if you're in a trauma response, your body is extremely exhausted. And the last thing that you want to do is tear your muscles at the gym. That's literally opposite of what you want to do. Exercise is good, though, because, again, we're trying to get you out of the immobilization response. And if you mobilize and you're moving your body and just getting out and living life in general, and then, a little bit of exercise, that's great. But then you want to pair living life with staying in a calm body, too. The more that you increase relaxation, the more that you decrease stress. Jovan Hayes, what's up, buddy? Are you spiritual? I am a Christian. So, yes. What are your thoughts on somatic experiencing? So somatic experiencing was developed by Dr. Peter A. Levine, and it was pretty much the earliest evidence-based treatment for trauma. And it's amazing for single event trauma, not so good for complex trauma. So that's what I would say. And pretty much all of my clients that come to me are experiencing complex trauma, where it's not just one big bad event. There was a series of stressors and adversity that built up over a very long period of time. So somatic experiencing can be very, very effective if there's single event trauma, and you can kind of revisit that through visualization, different things, and kind of the somatic experiencing practitioner can kind of help you flow with those sensations and kind of change the narrative and all that stuff. I think it's great, but it doesn't work with the people that are coming to me, and some of them have tried it. I love Dr. Levine, though. Generally speaking, he's one of my heroes, actually. But no, I definitely don't promote somatic experiencing for healing complex trauma, because you've got tens of thousands of triggers, and a lot of times you don't even know what they are. So if there's a single event that you're trying to process and move through, and befriend the sensations connected to that experience, then yeah, somatic experiencing could be really, really effective. Art, oh my gosh, it's good to see you, man. It's been so long. I hope you're doing awesome, man. I don't know why. As soon as I saw your name, Art, I thought about this big dirt pile. I feel like the last time that we talked, you said that there was some big dirt pile in your yard that you were like scooping up. Was that you? I don't know why. That's the first thing that came to my mind. But anyway, it's good to see you, Art, buddy. He's a former client of mine. How to cope with depersonalization while having a toddler? Well, you don't want to cope with anything. I don't teach people to cope with their symptoms or manage their symptoms. I teach people the necessary things that they need to shift in their body and then their lifestyle, and then provide the necessary co-regulation to get these symptoms to shut off permanently. So that you're beginning with the wrong approach, seeking to manage a symptom or cope with a symptom. The question is, what needs to change in your body and in your life so that we can get this symptom to go away? That's what I would say. But I will say, I've had a toddler before, and I know that it's very, very challenging. But one tip of advice for you, though, is I want you to remind yourself, you can just scan your environment for just 10 seconds and pretend it's the first time that you've looked at anything around you. And I want you to ask yourself the question, am I in any immediate physical danger right now? Maybe your toddler's screaming and throwing stuff all around, but is there any immediate physical danger? And if you will do that and then come into your body, you're going to feel your muscles start to relax because you've reactivated something in the brain called neuroception, which is our brain's ability to perceive safety. See, what's happened is you've gotten around your toddler and you've had a lot of painful emotional experiences. And the brain registers emotional distress, and physical pain is the same thing. And so your brain assigned the sensory data of your toddler, creating chaos with physical danger. Your brain assigned the procedure of fight, flight, freeze response to the sensory experiences associated with your toddler. So your body is going into a threat response. But whenever you scan your environment and you acknowledge, hey, there's no immediate physical danger here. You literally take 10 seconds and scan your environment, though. Go from item to item. Ask yourself, is there any immediate physical danger? You reactivate the neuroception circuit in the brain, which is your brain's ability to perceive safety. You're going to feel your body calm, but go ahead and start to relax it just for 3 or 4 seconds. That's going to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, and it's going to start to desensitize the triggers that are causing the stress. So there's something that you can do. But honestly, the real question is, what are the other things happening in your body and in your lifestyle that we need to adjust to really rewire your nervous system? And that I could only, I'd have to talk to you, right? But anyway, I hope that has helped you. I think you missed your question above Tara. No problem, Joe Schmo. Tara, why does change cause depersonalization for me? Well, because whenever there's change, our brain assumes the worst case scenarios until we've had a chance to safely integrate into that change. It's part of what has kept us alive for all of these, I don't know how many years human beings have been here, that's debated, but we survived because we had anxious ancestors. Your brain is not wired for happiness. Your brain is wired for survival. And the quicker that you accept that, the more that you can begin to do things that will override your natural proclivity to assume the worst about everything. And so anyway, whenever you're going into a new situation, whenever there's change, your brain is going to default to assuming the worst about that situation. And your brain is going to flood you with all kinds of negative what-if scenarios. And so what that really manifests in the form of is a question. Whenever there's change, your mind is going to give you a very negative question. Your brain's going to say, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? What if that happens? And then you're going to start to visualize those negative scenarios. And your nervous system is going to start to react to that movie that's playing in your head. And so what you have to do, one of the things you can do, in addition to just calming your body, is start to change your question. What if that doesn't happen? In fact, what if this positive thing happens? And then start to visualize the positive scenario. Play a positive movie in your head, and your brain thinks that that's real too. So that's why. But here's kind of a hack that I learned from a multimillionaire. I've started to train my brain to associate the discomfort of change with positivity, because if I'm not uncomfortable, it means that I'm not growing. Like, if I'm not uncomfortable at times because I'm trying to learn something new, it means that I'm not growing. So I've started to tell myself that if I'm actually comfortable all the time, that's not good. And whenever I'm trying to learn something related to copywriting or marketing or, you know, coaching or advertising or just all kinds of different stuff that I have to do in order to do this, and I'm just sitting there like, what in the heck am I doing right now? I have no idea what I'm doing. I've learned to actually associate that with positivity, because it means that I'm growing, right? This feeling of discomfort, this feeling that I hate, is representative of change that's actually moving me towards a positive outcome. It's a really, really cool, thing to do. Any ways to stop ruminating? Yeah, there's a lot of things. Number one, you can't have an anxious mind and a relaxed body. That's a quote by Edmund Jacobson, who created progressive muscle relaxation, that I firmly agree with. Anecdotally, in my own experience and working with a lot of people, I've noticed that to be true. When you increase relaxation in the body, you decrease stress. And the more that you decrease stress, the more that you'll get back into what's called your social engagement system, which is the ventral vagal branch of the parasympathetic nervous system. And whenever you're in your social engagement system, you've got full access to your prefrontal cortex, logical, critical, creative, contextual thinking, also concentration, as well as your brain leaves this thing called catastrophic risk assessment, which is where your brain is obsessing and ruminating over all the worst case scenarios. So really, the answer to stop ruminating ultimately comes down to getting back into your social engagement system. And the way to do that is to increase relaxation in the body as much as possible and adjust your lifestyle to where it promotes relaxation instead of stress and fatigue. And that looks like boundaries. The next thing that I would say to stop ruminating is you need to have a mission. And whenever I say a mission, dream big. Be like a child again. Right? Remember whenever we were kids in kindergarten and our teacher came to us and said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And we were like, an astronaut or a police officer or a firefighter or a doctor or whatever. We didn't think about all the logistics of how that's going to happen. We just dreamed. We let our heart lead our visualizations. But at some point, people came into our lives and started to create what are called self-limiting beliefs. Oh yeah, maybe some people could do that, but not you, because you've got this thing, and this thing. Let me tell you something. I've been able to reach millions and millions of people and have been able to do things in my family that nobody else has been able to do. And it is not because I'm smarter than anybody else or better than anybody else or anything like that. It's because I decided to believe that I could live a life that I've always wanted to live. I have Gary Vaynerchuk a lot to thank for it. If you guys know who Gary Vee is, most of you probably don't, but he's a very successful entrepreneur, and I started to watch his videos, and he sounds like Mickey Mouse, and he's like, man, you could be happy, man. You would be happy. Just you can do it, man. Anyway, I started to just believe, and then I started to make adjustments. I was willing to make major adjustments and sacrifice, and I acquired skills, all kinds of different skills, and now I've been able to become the person that I've always wanted to become and been able to impact people in a very deep way. And every day I get to impact people. Just had a coaching session this morning with somebody in my Rise Unlimited program, and he's been out of extreme symptoms for over a month now. He's about done with our 12-week program. Daily panic attacks, severe DPDR, insomnia, existential obsession. It's all gone now. And he's talking about how he's able to reconnect with his wife again, and he's able to focus on his business. Anyway, you can do the same thing. You can achieve whatever you want to achieve, but you have to get rid of these self-limiting beliefs, and you have to believe that you can do whatever you want to do. There are some limitations. You're not going to be LeBron James. Like, sorry, you're just not. There are some limitations, but you can almost do anything you want to do. And you have to dream. And then the second step is you have to break that dream down into small daily goals, right? Small daily goals. In other words, if you want to run a marathon, step one is go buy some jogging shoes. Go buy some running shoes. Right? A lot of people, they dream big, but then they look at everything as a whole. You got to break your dreams down into small daily goals. And then that becomes your focus. And instead of ruminating about stress and all these negative scenarios that could happen, now you're investing that creative intellect, that brain power in how you're going to achieve your goals. I tell everybody, you need to have a critical six list. Like every single day, I've got a list. Like I've got scheduled meetings, which takes up, probably about, 6 hours a day. And then the other time I'm working on my critical six list. I've actually got probably about 50 line items on my critical six list, but every day I put the 6 top things that I need to work on, and I'm investing all my time and energy on that. So I don't have time to ruminate. That's the thing, is you should be so going after your goals and your dreams in life that you don't even have time to ruminate. Like, which I don't want to go too deep. I want to get back to your questions, but we're technically wired for survival. How many of you have seen that show Alone? It's where they put 10 people on an island and they have to survive. And they're just completely alone, hence the name Alone. If you look at what happens whenever you put a human being alone on an island, you get to actually see man and woman operating according to how we're wired, which is for survival. And in a survival context where you have to meet the 5 basic survival needs or you die, which is food, water, clothing, shelter, warmth, your mind is constantly being challenged, right? Your mind is constantly moving. Okay, I've got to fix the shelter today. Okay, I've got to go catch fish. I've got to go hunting, right? I've got to do this. I've got to do that. I've got to do that. The mind is being challenged, right? In a really, really healthy way. And guess what? In the 21st century, we don't have to have our 5 basic survival needs met anymore. Every single person that's watching this has always had your 5 basic survival needs being met. And so because we don't have to have those 5 basic survival needs met, we tend to ruminate on the worst case scenarios and obsess over the negative, right? And so dream big and break that dream into simple daily goals, and that will really, really help you. All right. You're effing awesome, Jordan. Thank God for your wisdom. I'm happy to help. Thank you for your kind words. Is it possible to follow your program and pay it in installments? If you're talking about my Rise Unlimited program, I'm not sure I can help just yet, but if you go to coachjordanhargrave.com/apply, shoot me an application, and we'll see if we can help, and then we can book a call, and then I'll talk to you. And yeah, if I do determine I can help you, yeah, we can break it into payments. That's fine. So Tara, the best thing to do to release head tension is to release face tension, right? And so behind the face, there's a nerve called the trigeminal nerve, and it actually connects to the vagus nerve around the ear. The trigeminal nerve and the vagus nerve wrap around the ears. And whenever you rub the face, you actually indirectly stimulate the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is like your body's super information highway. It's connected to all your major organs, and it's very, very powerful. So if you can create relaxation in the face, it actually will send relaxation to your entire body. And I actually do this probably 2 or 3 times a day. I'll kind of demonstrate. It looks a little weird, but it's very, very, very effective. So basically, you just kind of take 2 or 3 fingers, and you kind of rub pretty hard, maybe like a 4 out of 5 as far as like this. I always rub right here because that's where the trigeminal nerve connects with the vagus nerve. Kind of rub right there, and then I'll kind of rub my whole ears like that, pretty hard, kind of in a circular motion. And then kind of go back like that, and then kind of rub your whole face. And if you want to do this right now, you literally will feel instantly calmer. I have people do this and they're like, whoa. Uh, yeah, that was awesome. It really, really, really works. So that's something that you can do is release face, release tension in your face, and it will help um, release tension in your head. Also, do progressive muscle relaxation. Pick tight muscle groups in your body, squeeze them for 5 seconds, then relax, and just lower the amount of tension in your overall body, and that will indirectly start to reduce tension in your head as well. Make sure that you're hydrated as well. That can cause your head to have tension as well. Let me see, guys. I just have another minute here. Sans one of one. The only one in existence. One of one. Sans one of one. Um, what helps me to stop ruminating is dream, like Jordan said, while relaxing and listening to inspiring music. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, one of the best things that you can do is get into a hot bath and listen to Mozart, like type in Mozart calming music or just like spa music or something, and do progressive muscle relaxation in a very hot bath and put Epsom salt in it too. Literally, I don't care how anxious you are. If you get into a hot bath, like, and make it almost hot, almost so hot that it's too hot, but just right below that temperature, and get in there and then start squeezing your muscles. Pick a muscle group, squeeze for 3 or 4 seconds, and then relax it. Hot water is your best friend when it comes to getting over stress. Because remember, whenever you increase relaxation, you decrease stress. In fact, before I even understood kind of the mind body connection and, these principles, years and years ago, this was like 2009, I was severely, severely anxious and depersonalized and all this stuff. And the only thing that would calm me down was a hot bath. And it got so bad that I was literally taking like 7 baths a day. Like, because I didn't know why it calmed me down. I wish I would have known that it was because my muscles were relaxing, because then I could have started to do other body-based strategies that increase relaxation. But anyway, yeah, hot baths are really, really powerful. All right, guys, I do have to go, but I hope that this has helped you. You're amazing, and stay strong. I don't know, what you're going through, um, but I will tell you that there is hope. I don't care what your brain is telling you. There is hope. Your body knows how to heal itself. We just have to create the conditions for healing. If you need my help with that, I've got a couple different options. I am going to be relaunching my Inner Circle mentorship. So the S5 method is no longer going to be available because I realize now people really do need at least some mentorship. And so I'm about to relaunch what's called my Inner Circle. It's a subscription service. It's very affordable. You'll get access to my course, training archive. You'll get access to meeting with me twice a month on a video call. And also, of course, we've got my Rise Unlimited 12-week mentorship. You go to any of my videos, there's an application for that. But anyway, and then, of course, YouTube videos, going to be doing a lot more of those. Hey, 1 second. What is it, baby? What is it? Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, baby. But anyway, also I've got a YouTube video coming out next week. It's called 15 most severe depersonalization realization symptoms. Oh yeah, I've also got a free training that I've created. It's called the 5 shifts to heal from trauma, anxiety, panic, and depersonalization realization. You go to any of the links in my videos that should be there. I spent like 6 months on that training. It's extremely, extremely helpful, and it's free, so you can check that out too. No. Anybody who has my S5 method, you'll still have access to that for sure. But just anybody who buys it from now on, I will require mentorship included with it. Because it's really, really important. It just takes people's results to the next level whenever they have mentorship, even just a couple times a month. All right. I got to read this comment. This person said, anyone with DPDR, just know you're super strong. Keep focusing on your healing journey. Don't give up. And if you can do this, you can do anything. Absolutely. You've literally survived everything life has ever thrown at you. This is not going to be any different. You are going to beat this. But you need a strategy. You really do. It's not going to go away by itself. In fact, it's going to get worse by itself. Time is not the great healer. It's just not true. You need a body-based strategy, self-regulation, and you need co-regulation, which is somebody making you feel calm and have a sense of hope. Does not have to be me, but if you do want that to be me, again, I've just went over all the different resources, and you guys are amazing. Hope you have a good night. Seriously, YouTube family, you guys are very special to me, and I just want to say thank you for, just giving me a chance to help you all these years. You've changed my life, and I really, really do love you. And thank you for showing up and being so kind in the comments. And if I didn't answer you, just know that I really do think the world of you, and I hope you have an awesome day, okay? Take care, guys.